In today's video, I'm going to give you a breakdown of the costs or the capital that I used to start my hotspot business. So let me write here my hotspot business. And it may not be so expensive as you may think. So to get started, number one is the ISP. I had to bring internet. I used fiber. That is 130,000. Then the second one was, now for fiber, you don't have to use fiber. There are other options. You can use radio and other things, but fiber is really efficient. Then it's the MikroTik router. This one is the brains of the business. The MikroTik router, the RB951 specifically. This is the one which many people start with, so you can start with it too. That's 230,000. 220, 230, some sell at 240, but that one can work. Then the third one is an access point. Access point, specifically the TP-Link EAP110 2.4 gigahertz. That one is about 130 to 150, but let's put 130,000 here. Sorry about that. 130,000 there. Yeah. Some can be 150, others 140, depending on where you buy it from. Then you have the Ethernet cable. This is the cable that runs from the access point all the way to the router here. Inside, wherever you're going to put it, then to outside. That's why it is called outdoor cable, outdoor Ethernet cable. In my case, I used 50 meters. No, not 50 meters, I used 30 meters. 30 meters. This thing is becoming untidy. 30 meters, 30,000. Yeah. Then I used RJ45 connectors. In fact, there is one here. It looks like this. This thing. Let me put it there and you see it there. That. So that one, I used 2,000 shillings to buy them, several of them, to connect onto these wires, because they are the ones which enter the router. You put this inside. I mean, yes, they enter the router, or they enter into the access point. This one. Then 6 is a laptop. Laptop. It's an old one of 300,000 can do. You don't need to get an expensive one. So what this laptop does, it is the one that is going to help you run a software called Micmon. Micmon is responsible for managing the entire business. It is the administrative tool that you use for reporting. You will see it in my previous video. I think the card is here. You just click that card and see what it does. So it runs Micmon and it runs Winbox. Winbox is the software that controls the MikroTik router. So it's majorly for those two. I use Micmon for creating vouchers and managing the vouchers, and then I use this Winbox for configuration of the system. The laptop, I also use it when I'm customizing things which I want to put on my captive portal. I have some graphic editors and some web editors which I use to customize, on my, when I want to update the captive portal on my hotspot. This laptop is very important. Then 7, you have a pole. This one is not really needed. It's not a must that you have a pole. You can put your access point, but the pole is for the access point. So you can put the access point on a building. That you have to ask though. You have to ask the owner of the building. Then you can put on a pole which is already existing, a wood one, a wood pole or a wooden pole. But in my case, I used my own metallic poles so that I don't disturb anyone, and I distribute the signal without, going into someone else's land and you get a problem there. So this one is a nice to have. You don't have to put it. Then 8, you need money for the technician. This one also varies. They can charge you anything from 150. Mine charged 150. They usually charge for this because this is a very simple layout. Maybe if it was more advanced, they would charge you more because they have to deal with so many things. So I'm looking at about 150,000 shillings for the technician. So what the technician does on this 150, he'll do for you a site layout. He can recommend where to place the AP. He configures the system on Winbox, and he can set up for you Micmon. He can set that up for you. Now, there's something very important that you need to note. This system that I've set is a manual one in terms of managing the vouchers. In this system, you print the vouchers using Micmon, and then you generate the vouchers using Micmon and then print them out. You print them out, give them to customers, and the customers insert the voucher into the captive portal. But there is another one. It's called billing. It's automatic. This one I didn't use, but the technician can recommend for you. You can even set you up. What happens is you give customers the option to pay using mobile money. There are service providers who give that, but you pay them every month. But in my case, I still use up to now manual vouchers. So the choice to use manual or billing depends largely on where you are. In my case, surprisingly, most of the people prefer manual vouchers, surprisingly. So they prefer these vouchers. I discovered that the reason why they do is, for some of them, the phone is not theirs. They have borrowed it. For others, the phone is theirs, but the line that is in the phone is not theirs. It belongs to someone else, maybe the brother or the sister. And that means the mobile money attached to the SIM card is not registered in their names. So for that case, or for that matter, they prefer manual. So I don't use automatic for my setup. Even when you're beginning, this is what you're going to use. Then with time, you can ask the technician, depending on where you are, to put for you automated billing. So that was my setup. I didn't even write the amount. So it comes to 172 shillings. Yeah, just over 1 million. You can get started over 1 million with this basic setup. Then with time, you can add a UPS. So UPS, an uninterruptible power supply, like these ones which are used in offices to power PCs in case the power goes off. It allows you to put off in time. That thing, 650 kVA, I think that's it. So you use it to power the router, to power the ISP, especially these two, this MikroTik and the ISP are powered by this one. Oh, and also the access point. Those three are the ones that it powers, so that in case power goes off, people have access to the internet for maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour. Then if you get the more financial resources, or you have increased these, you can add solar. Yeah? You can add the solar option to lengthen the time. Now, this is a setup of 1 million, just over 1 million. But the setup can increase. For example, if you want with this same, okay, the ISP stays, the MikroTik stays, the access points you can increase to 2, 3. The Ethernet cable, of course, because if the access points are more, then you have to get more cables. You have to get more RJ45s. If you're using poles, you need the poles. Yeah, those are the ones which increase. But this is the bare minimum, and this is what I started with. So that's it. That's my hotspot setup and the costs that went into it. If you like this video, like, share, leave a comment. Tap the notification bell there so that you can get more content when I post. Otherwise, have a good day and God bless.